You have to have some common sense. That's who we are at times as quote-unquote characters. But nonetheless, common sense is a good trait to have within your own personal construct of character. I think you have to be committed to your own lifelong learning and development. I think you have to have accountable behavior as a person of character. You have to take on civic responsibility as well, because as a person who lives in this great nation, as a leader and as a servant leader, you can take those leadership characteristics and help others move our country in the direction that we want it to be. Regardless of whatever aisle you're on, it doesn't matter. As long as you take that civic responsibility on as your own and carry it forward and be a role model to others amongst your age group and peer group, and those children that will look up to you in your coming years. Well, 4 C's: competency and commitment and community and character. Just to kind of keep that in mind as you go about your day-to-day business. Well, let me finish off with this fellows program. I see in Ralph Hauenstein the nature of this program and how he has really put himself into this opportunity for you. Because if you talk to Ralph, and we've been blessed to have chances to talk with Ralph, you know, one of the things I found out about Ralph, he aims high. Okay? He really aims high. If you can just think about that for a minute, he has had 96 years, and you know, he's still looking ahead. He's still looking ahead. He's putting his resources and times and talent into you all, because his legacy will be with you. But he aims high. And you should too. Aim high. Take risks. I think that, again, through Ralph, throughout his years, I am sure that he took risks, whether it be through his service to this country, and then as a business leader. He took risks. So he aimed high, took the risks, and they were calculated risks. Yes, he wasn't going to do something real silly, but he did take the risks in order to make things better for his family and for his community. He took that civic responsibility to the best extent that I have ever seen in anyone. And then, as Ralph would be quick to align himself with some of my feelings, learn and continue to learn. Ralph is still learning. You know, it is wonderful to sit down with him and talk about the current political circumstance and what he thinks about the future with our presidential candidates and vice presidential candidates, and seeing how this all fits. Talking about the future with Ralph is talking to someone who has learned all along the way and continues to do just that. And I do think that Ralph is one, and I've seen this too, he celebrates successes. Doesn't he? He loves to see people succeed. That's why I think he likes to commit his time and talent and treasures to opportunities like this. Ralph Hauenstein likes to see people succeed, and then he wants to celebrate those successes. I see that with him. So let's take some lessons from Ralph Hauenstein. Aim high, take some risks, continue to learn, and celebrate successes. To finish off, we're in the fall now, almost fall. Felt like it this morning, but there's some geese that usually head south at this time, right? You've seen the V of geese, right? We should take some lessons from the geese. You ever see what geese do? They fly in that V. They have a horizontal construct. There's a leader out there, and he's got all his budzos on his wing. Not this way, but this way. That lead goose out there is working hard. But he also has all the others on this horizontal plane helping out each other that is following them. Right? Now think about it. You've seen them. When you go out this afternoon, take a look, see if they're going south. Now what happens? Well, once in a while that lead goose has to do what? They go out and kind of go back in the flock, and someone else comes up. Well, that next goose that's coming out has been learning from the lead goose. Now they're going to take the responsibility for the others that are on the same plane. They have a vision. They need to go south. They have an implementation plan, too. They're going to get there, and they're going to start it all over again the following year. There's a lot to learn from watching the geese. Thank you. Any questions?
Would you take a question?
Sure. I don't know how I'm doing on time, but...
You're doing great.
Okay. Be glad to answer anything that you have. Yes, sir.
I'd just like to say you made a lot of great points. I'm actually majoring in education, so I felt a lot of things that you said were kind of tailored towards me. Obviously, you've had a lot of experience in education, but just the things that you said about continuing your education and how important community is. And, I mean, those are things at the College of Ed. That's our base is community, and continue your education and be a leader and things like that. So, thank you. A lot of great points.
Well, thank you. And with that way to think, it goes so much into so many of the different disciplines we have, but really in terms of our life and life practices. So that's what I tried to impart. I've had some wonderful mentors along the way, outstanding people who helped me, and sometimes got me a good kick in the butt too. And that was good. I like that. But I've had such wonderful mentors. I've been truly blessed in that. And so what I hope to have shared with you is take your responsibility to yourself and those that are around you as you grow in your paths, wherever it might take you, whether it be in education or in business or in not-for-profit, within your families, within your communities. Take those responsibilities. We've been blessed as individuals, and we need to make sure that we then have, actually, I think we have the obligation to serve. Okay? Questions? Yes, ma'am.
Well, it's not a question, but I like the story you said at the end, and it kind of ties up with the story that Khalif told us at our retreat. And I think it's one of the hardest points for people who are leading to keep in mind that power, or the power they have at that moment, it's not theirs, and sometimes they need to give it up and let others lead, and that's I think that's the hardest part of being a leader, probably. Like, for example, with me, I'm part of a lot of student organizations, and sometimes I have officer positions, and a lot of things don't work, or like other officers or other people don't do what needs to be done on time. It's hard for me to just say, okay, well, it's their job, they need to do it, and I go ahead and fix it up, and because I want the things to work out at the end, but I need to learn to just let it go and let others do it sometimes. Yep.